80 Days, adventurer and award-winning filmmaker Paul G. Roberts retraces the global footsteps of Phileas Fogg, hero of Jules Verne's most famous work.
Tokyo is Japan's bustling capital city. It's a tourist attraction par excellence, known for its traditional blending of Japanese ancient culture and modern technology. Every time I've been to Japan, every time I've been to Tokyo, you get this rush from this Blade Runner kind of esque world that you've seen before in movies. And there's nowhere else on the planet that I've been that has the same strange combination. On one hand, you have the ancient, the kimonos, the geishas, the samurai. Juxtaposed side by side with the hypermodern. A lot of it is kind of similar to Western cities or places, but so much of it isn't. It's kind of a mystery. It's an enigma of a place. And it's got a population of 13 million people that actually live there, but I've heard reports that the actual greater Tokyo area is actually 40 million, that it could well be the biggest metropolis on the planet. So it is massive, massive, massive. It's easily one of the biggest metropolitan cities on the planet, whether it's number 1 or 2 or 3. And it offers visitors a wealth of options and choices, whether it's visiting historic temples and shrines, to cutting-edge robot bars or museums, futuristic skyscrapers. There's so many amazing things to do. I could literally go on forever. But here's a few that I think really warrant checking out when you're in Tokyo. The first is the Tokyo Skytree. And that's an iconic landmark. It's the tallest tower in Japan. Standing at a height of 634 metres. And it offers stunning views from the deck, which are located at heights of 350 metres and 450 metres. And the tower has a variety of shops and restaurants, entertainment options, making it a great destination for a whole day out. And then there is the Imperial Palace. Now this is where the Emperor actually lives, who was once, probably still is, he was considered to be a god. He wasn't a mortal person, he was actually immortal. If you take the 75-minute tour, you're probably unlikely to see the emperor wandering around in person, but you never know. But you will be suitably impressed by the immaculately preserved buildings and gardens. And the tours run twice a day, several times a week. And don't forget to secure your spot by booking in advance. And don't forget to bring your passport on the day. One thing you definitely should do in Tokyo is sample sake, the rice spirit that is famous throughout Japan and very uniquely Japanese. Now in an izakaya, it promises awesome snacking, but the name translates as actually a sake shop. Locating a good one, like an old school Akaoni, ensures that you can actually taste top shelf sake across the board. You can witness the process and how they actually make the stuff and sample the list at a 3 centuries old mountainside brewery, Ozawa Shuzo, and stay for lunch at their adjacent tofu restaurant, which uses equally pristine water. Sake, get into it. One of the attractions has to be, you've heard it from Anthony Bourdain and many other kind of gourmands and famous chefs of the world. They rate Tokyo as their favourite gastronomy city in the world. And there's a reason for that. And it's more than sushi. I mean, you can breakfast on sushi at the Toyoso fish market. You can plant your face into ramen goodness at Tokyo and Shinagawa stations. You don't even have to go outside of the railway stations. You can suck on smoky yakitori, there's grilled chicken on the sticks, under the railway tracks at Yurakucho or Shimbashi, and you can crunch on perfectly fried tonkatsu, tempura, grill your own beef at yakinui joints, and frock up for Michelin-starred uber glamour at multiple places. Tokyo has the most thriving gastronomy scene on the planet, and you can dine brilliantly on dollars, or you can splurge on hundreds of dollars. And everywhere in between, whether you're getting a snack from a street cart, it's fantastic and really, really safe and clean. And while you're there, why not channel your inner Scarlett Johansson, as she did in Lost in Translation, and get lost in karaoke. Create that scene where Bill Murray is singing More Than This.
There's nothing more than this. Tell me one thing.
And she's singing Brass in Pocket, I know you want to. And you can book it by the hour, in soundproof room at Sing stores such as Karaoke Can, and do it all with a bottle of Suntory whiskey in your lap and settle in for a embarrassment-free session. And then there's the Meiji Shrine, and that's one of Tokyo's most important and popular shrines. It's dedicated to the deified spirits of Emperor Meiji and his wife, Empress Shokin. And the shrine is situated in a large forested area in the heart of the city. and offers visitors a peaceful escape from the hustle and bustle of Tokyo's streets. Visitors can participate in Shinto rituals and enjoy the tranquil surroundings of the shrine's Zen gardens. It was built in the 1930s, as I said, honouring Emperor Meiji. And this handsome Shinto shrine is secluded in a sacred forest. It's quite bizarre how it's sitting in this mega city of 40 million people. And on the weekends, you know, bring your camera. There's lots of wedding ceremonies, people taking photos. And on May 5th, when thousands of traditionally costumed tiny tots dress up for Children's Day. And then there are museums. I mean, Tokyo has some fantastic museums, but forget stuffy, boring kind of, you know, traditional museums. Tokyo's contribution to the museum landscape appeals to diverse curiosities. Minji Khan's stunning folk crafts displayed inside an equally attractive Meiji-era home offer a peek into the cultural history. The Parasite Museum, with everything that crawls and creeps, or Neizu's private collection of ceremonial tea implements. Tea ceremony is very big in Japan. Tsukuji Fish Market. Now you've probably seen that where they're pulling out, you know, 500-pound tunas and cutting them open. It's the world's largest fish market and a must-visit destination for seafood lovers or just lovers of different stuff. The market's home for over 400 different types of seafood from all around the world, and people come to check it out each day and watch the live auctions of the tuna and to get and sample the freshest tuna, sushi and sashimi. And you can do that at breakfast time until they close, like in the afternoon. No trip to Tokyo would be complete without getting some snaps or some footage for your Instagram page on the Shibuya crossing, one of the busiest crossings in all the world. And it's a popular tourist destination in its own right. Now the Shibuya crossing is located smack bang in front of Shibuya Station, and it's known for its massive crowds day or night, all moving in different directions, seemingly all at the same time. And visitors can watch the spectacle from one of the many cafes or shops overlooking the intersection. This famed five-way intersection is infinitely more thrilling than it sounds. And you've seen it on every single TV film, you know, major feature film set in Tokyo. And it's on a zillion Instagram posts. And you'll find out what all the fuss is when you actually go there. When you put yourself in the midst of these throngs of human beings, all moving in different directions. It's quite stunning. Check it out. And then you can souvenir shop till you drop in Tokyo. I mean, they have whole districts based on anime and robots where you can pick up all kinds of really unique trinkets to take home and souvenirs. And it's not just the vast selection of cool stuff available from the department stores that you can't be beaten. There's epic window displays, merchandising, and immensely helpful service. And in the department stores you can get these beautifully, you know, artistically wrapped packages, all for free and with no pressure to buy. It's like, I remember going there the first time, I think it was one of the, maybe Parco department store, Seibu, I can't remember. But they had a display and there was a honeydew melon which was set up like it was the jewel of the Nile. and it was $50 or something. Thinking, you know, only in Japan would they do that, celebrate a single piece of fruit like it's a priceless emerald. But in Japan, everything is a little different. I don't know if you like science fiction, but to me, Tokyo is also home of robot obsession. And there's robot nightclubs, there's robot cafes everywhere. And Tokyo's robot restaurant is an oversized Transformers. And it's a hit with the masses. People go there from all over the world to get up and close, personal, with an eerily lifelike fembot. And then you can visit Odaba's Miracane, check in at the Heno Hotel for an immersive robo-stay. They even have robot-themed hotels, and assess Tom the Android's barista skills at their new cafe outpost. Robots are big in Japan. And then, you know, if you're into Disneyland, you can go and see the Tokyo equivalent, because they have Tokyo Disneyland and also Disney Sea. They're two of the most popular theme parks in all of Tokyo. Think normal Disneyland, like the ones you've seen in France, and you've seen them in obviously America, California and Florida. But it's a little different in Japan. Then getting back to the traditional attractions, Sensoji Temple. It's the oldest and most famous temple in Tokyo, dating all the way back to the 7th century. And this temple complex has a large main gate, a 5-story pagoda, and several halls and gardens. Visitors can participate in Buddhist rituals, or you can shop for souvenirs at Nakamizi Shopping Street and enjoy the tranquil surroundings of the temple grounds. And then if you're there in sumo season, you can see the major tournaments happening, and they're held in January, May and September. And if travelling off-season or wrestling over whether to stick it out for a full day or watch the primo players, you're kind of captive once the main event starts, you can't really leave. Or you can book a tour, a stable tour, and witness the practice sessions.
After the basic exercises end, the actual wrestling takes place. Rikishi of the same level of ability face off to get a sense of an actual match.
Sumo is a fascinating business, and they even have their own special diet, and they consume incredible amounts of calories to keep their body weight. And you kind of wonder, with all that blubber that they have, are they really that athletically strong? I don't know. And then there's Harajuku. I remember going to Harajuku on my first visit, and they even have a Harajuku park. And Harajuku is where all the hip young kids hang out, all dressed in their incredible different outfits. And they've kind of culturally appropriated all these different kinds of looks. You see things like punk and rockabilly or baby girl or Lolita, and they're fully decked out like they're in, you know, costumes from The Masked Singer or something, all channeling their inner haiku of some sort. And whilst they're the main parts of Harajuku, it's residential, but it's also a shopping district. They're incredible boutiques when you can find, if you're not big like me, because they don't have big people sizes, but if you're petite, you can find all manner of incredible things to buy, especially clothing and fashion accessories. It's a wonderland. And on Sunday, I don't know if they still do, but on Sunday when I first went there, they had this incredible park where all these different live acts. It's not like it's a music festival or anything. It's more like a whole lot of people just get out to perform. And there's hundreds of little stages all sort of jammed side by side. So one stage might have kind of a rockabilly Stray Cats thing happening. Next there's a thrash metal. The next one there's punk. The next one there's something else. And they're all blasting out the same music. It's really quite crazy. I think living in a place like Tokyo where the proximity, you lose your sense of personal space and no one really cares. But yeah, Harajuku's well worth looking at. It's a very fun place. So many things to see in Tokyo, and I could go on forever about this. But in conclusion, Tokyo is one of the most amazing cities on the planet. It offers a wealth of attractions. It's got something for everybody. And it's really unique. It's not like any other city or a Starbucks light version. It's unique from top to bottom. And you can see historic temples and shrines, cutting-edge robot cafes, technology museums with incredible interactive displays, or futuristic skyscrapers. There's literally something for everybody. You could spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks just looking at all the new things, because it's a massive city. And immersing yourself into the culture and just living your daily life like a local, having your 3 meals a day at various places. You don't even have to spend a lot of money. And you can experience the best in tradition and the best in hypermodern, all jammed together. Tokyo is incredible. And if you want to go outside of Tokyo, which is kind of a must-do, be aware that the incredible network of Shinkansen sort of fast train tracks will take you anywhere